2024 is the year of AI and Micron is a part of it. Did you know that Nvidia, ARM Holdings, SoundHound, and Supermicro Computer stock prices all gained more than 80% so far this year, and the year is not even half done. As for Micron, it's up more than 10% so far this year, and in 2023, it gained more than 70%. For us to determine whether this stock can be a high-growth stock right now in 2024, like Nvidia and the other stocks I just mentioned, we will examine 4 factors. What their business is, its strategy, Micron's leadership and the metrics. And then I will go over what analysts are saying and give my final verdict. Disclaimer. Always do your own research and consult a financial advisor if you are unsure. This video is for informational purposes only. Micron is no longer just the company created in 1978 that first started producing DRAM in 1981. In fact, this memory and storage company also produces memory cards, SSDs, NAND flash chips and HBM chips. However, DRAM still makes up the majority of Micron's profits. What is DRAM? Just to give a quick explanation, it is similar to RAM. But it was less expensive when it came out and easier to expand. The D in DRAM stands for dynamic as opposed to the regular static RAM. It means the memory needs to be constantly refreshed, which is an advantage for today's AI and LLM requirements, allowing it to be used efficiently. What is the connection between Micron and AI? Because right now, AI is making the world spin. The buzz around Micron is because of the volume production of their HBM3E chips starting in February of 2024. They are actually a form of DRAM, of which the company has longtime expertise. HBM chips, or high bandwidth memory, are optimized for AI by stacking memory chips vertically and achieving high data transfer rates. So, that's the connection between Micron and AI. This is what may make Micron rocket up in value. Micron Technology Inc., though, is a diversified company, as mentioned previously, and operates through 4 different reportable segments, each contributing to its product portfolio of memory and storage solutions. The Compute and Networking Business Unit, CNBU, includes memory products sold into markets for cloud servers, enterprise, graphics, networking, and other clients. That would be, for example, their DRAM and HBM memory. 73% of Micron's revenue comes from this sector. The Mobile Business Unit, MBU, focuses on memory products sold into the smartphone and related mobile markets such as the LPDDR5X, which are in Samsung Galaxy phones. The Storage Business Unit, SBU, includes memory products used in data storage, solid-state drives and other storage solutions, like the Micron 7500 NVMe SSD for data centers. The Embedded Business Unit, EBU, serves markets such as automotive and industrial by providing memory and storage solutions, like NAND flash chips for embedded systems. S&P Global Mobility estimates automotive revenue for memory and storage will grow to $11.6 billion by 2026, a compound annual growth rate of 20 to 24%. So that is what their business is. As for its near-term strategy, a lot of its growth will be focused on its DRAM and HBM chips. With the ramp-up of AI solutions, that should alleviate some of the cyclicality that Micron stock has shown in the past, as we can surmise that at least for the next couple of years, it will be a booming market. Nvidia will be shipping out a growing number of H100, H200, and B100 AI chips and GPUs. AMD, its MI300 chips, and Intel, its Gaudi accelerators. Micron's high-bandwidth memory works in conjunction with these accelerators, and the company now has a contract with Nvidia for deployment in its next-generation artificial intelligence chips. Furthermore, Micron is predicted to supply this type of memory to advanced micro devices, which could lead to significant growth. For the longer term, it is investing in manufacturing facilities. Micron recently announced plans to invest $15 billion over the next decade to build a new memory fabrication plant in Boise, Idaho, and $100 billion to build a megafab in central New York. This will allow them to be more vertically integrated. However, the current excitement regarding Micron is because of the almighty HBM3E that was developed under the leadership of Sanjay Mehrotra. He is the current president and CEO of Micron Technology. Mehrotra co-founded SanDisk in 1988 and was there until 2011. He was CEO and president of SanDisk until its takeover by Western Digital in 2016. Leadership is very important and predictive because if you look at all the large cap tech stocks that are successful, they have CEOs that have been in the tech sector for a long time. Lisa Su with AMD, Jensen Huang with Nvidia, Charles Liang with Supermicro, Satya Nadella with Microsoft, and Arvind Krishna with IBM. So, we can add Sanjay Mehrotra to the list. He earned his bachelor's and master's degrees in electrical engineering and computer science from the University of California, Berkeley. He has 40 years of experience in the semiconductor memory industry and holds more than 70 patents in the sector. Micron stock has tripled since he took over and more than doubled in the past 5 years. When we look at Micron's other metrics from their previous earnings report released in December, Micron experienced a surge in revenue of 18% sequentially. Revenue growth was up to $4.7 billion in its latest quarter, and that was up 16% year-over-year for the first quarter of fiscal 2024. Shipments increased in the low 20% range and prices increased in the low single-digit range. There was a cyclical downturn and the consolidated gross margin for the quarter was near 1%. It turned positive, improving 10 percentage points sequentially. For operating income, they had an operating loss of $955 million in Q1, resulting in an operating margin of -20%. This improved from -30% in the prior quarter. The inventory level is reported to be down and demand will be outstripping supply, so Micron will be able to exercise power over pricing. DRAM and NAND bit shipments are expected to decline somewhat in the fiscal second quarter. But they do project second quarter gross margin to benefit from the price increases. They anticipate gross profit margin and operating profit margin to improve throughout 2024. And they forecast a much reduced operating loss in the second quarter. And a return to positive operating income in the third quarter. Improvement is forecasted in their gross profit margin from being negative to becoming significantly positive. Micron, MU, is expected to deliver a year-over-year increase in earnings on higher revenues when it reports results on March 20, 2024. This widely known consensus outlook gives a good sense of the company's earnings picture. But how the actual results compared to these estimates is a powerful factor that could impact its near-term stock price. Based on 27 Wall Street analysts compiled by TipRanks offering 12-month price targets for Micron in the last 3 months. The average price target is $103.99 with a high forecast of $150 and a low forecast of $74.75. The average price target represents a 11.52% change from the last price of $93.25. And Citi research analysts have increased their price target for Micron Technology to a new street high ahead of the company's fiscal Q2 2024 report. The Global Investment Bank lifted the price objective from $95 to $150. And earnings per share, EPS, estimates for the fiscal 2025 year from $6.38 to $6.65. For the last 20 quarters, Micron has met or reached EPS targets except for 2 times in the recent cyclical downturn. With the advent of AI and the release of HBM3E, which is tied to the success of Nvidia and their AI semiconductors, Micron's recent improvement in operating margin and gross margin, their strong leadership, and positive sentiment from analysts, I am willing to classify this as a growth stock to invest in. As to whether or not it should be invested in before the earnings come out on the 20th, that's your decision. It's one of those high-risk, high-reward plays, and it doesn't always work out in the short or medium term.